More than a year now.
Well, we've been in lockdown for how long?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. All's well that ends well. Let's start. Okay, Ted, here it is. We start with a small prayer. Then I introduce you, and then you and Janet both can take over.
Oh, no.
One request is if you can sing, you know.
I will.
Yeah, great. Thank you. On the wings of the snow white dove. Yeah. Okay. And what else? Yeah, maybe at the end, instead of doing the aarti, we can do it with Ustad Dhanyawad. What do you think?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Okay. So
Ask some questions, Sam.
yeah, I will. I will.
Like neither one of us have a speech prepared.
Yeah. Neither am I either. So Baba will help us all. Okay, we start now with a small prayer. Beloved God, help us all to love you more and more, and more and more, and still yet more, until we become worthy of union with you. And help us all to hold fast to Baba's Daman until the very end. Avtar Meher Baba ki jai. Avtar Meher Baba ki jai. Avtar Meher Baba ki jai. Beloved Baba, we've been working around arranging this meeting, and a dumb fellow like me had my mute button on the computer, and that's why there were all these problems. But now everything is sorted out. The only request to you, Baba, is to please come and take over this meeting and conduct it the way you like it to be. We have just done our bit. Now you take over. There are two announcements to be made. One is about the youth savas, which, of course, Ted also conducts his singing sessions over there. And so Janice will be talking about that.
What?
Janice.
Oh.
Janice, can you make an announcement
Yes.
about? Yeah.
Yes. So, Jai Baba, everyone. This is the Young Adult Savas, and this is the 21st year of the Young Adult Savas this year. Usually, we have it at Mehrabad for around 7 days. But because of the pandemic, we have the virtual Sevas like we had last year and this year again. This year, we have it in the month of August, from 21st of August till the 29th. And the theme this year is Surrendering to Meher. So in this, we have various broadcast programs, interactive workshops and discussions, and various things have been planned. And the eligibility for this is 18 to 35 years. And also whoever has attended, who is beyond 35 but has attended at least one Sevas in his lifetime, his or her lifetime, can also participate. And I will be sharing the link to the form in the chat. So whoever has young people in the family, encourage them to join this because it's a beautiful experience. Ted will also agree with me. Ted and Janette are aware about the young adult Sevas happening each year. So would really appreciate young adults to be part of this.
Janice, your voice is not coming out cleanly.
Okay. Janice, is Yasmin Haradwala around? Do you know?
Yes.
Okay, folks, I owe an apology. Yasmin was to do the prayer, and in my panic, I did it instead. So we'll have Janice recite the prayer. Yasmin, recite the prayer once again, please, if you don't mind. Sorry about that.
Yes. Yasmin, can you come in?
Yeah. Beloved God, help us all to love you more and more and more and more, and still yet more, till we become worthy of union with thee, and help us all to hold fast Baba's garment till the very end. Avtar
Meher Baba. Okay.
Baar Meher Baba ki jai.
Jai. Jai Baba.
Okay, folks, now what is there to introduce Janet and Ted about? Everybody knows them. The only way to describe them is they are one of the gems of Mehrabad. The gems, you know. This is what Baba's sign was for the gems. And they've dedicated their entire life. Janet is an Australian, Ted is an American, but above all, both are great Baba lovers. And that is the biggest qualification, or the nationality, or whatever you can talk about. So I would just like to leave the floor open for anybody and everybody. One request from Ted is that he likes to make it interactive, and people to ask questions and stuff like that. So anybody who feels like asking questions in between, just raise your hand. The on the screen, and then we will. Ram Noori's hand is already raised, I think. Ram, go ahead. Hello.
Yeah, since there is no formal introduction of Ted, I just would like to ask Ted to let us know how he heard about Meher Baba.
He will do that. He will.
What was his?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
long one.
and he can tell us how he came to Meher Baba and Mehrabad.
Yeah. You see, all this. Ted is an architect by profession, to tell you briefly. And all these structures that you see, MPC building, the Pilgrim Center down below, and MPR, and I think even the other
The Memorial Tower.
Memorial Tower, of course, and so many other buildings, they're all his babies. So, okay. Who wants to go first, Janet or Ted? Whoever wants to.
Oh. All right. First, I want to say that symbol for the young adult Sahavas, that was beautiful. With a dome in the middle there.
Yeah.
Who designed that, but that's a work of art. Well, look, I can tell you a little history. It might be helpful. I arrived in Mehrabad in September 1974.
Ted, sorry to interrupt. Can you tell us before that? You joined the army and this and that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, of course, I went to college. Then I joined the army in between undergraduate school and architecture school. Went through officer training and became a lieutenant in Korea. There was no real shooting going on then, so it wasn't real dangerous. Came back, went to architecture school, and my first job was a very wonderful job. I was given freedom to design a house with several houses with no budget. And I had a wonderful experience doing it. And I did it myself with my hands and designed and built them. But during that period, because I was getting everything I dreamed of all at once, I realized this wasn't going to be the way that I had to live my life, that there was more to it than this. And so I learned a bit about Indian knowledge of that this was all an illusion. And that the real goal was God realization. So that sounded okay. I'll try for that. But I couldn't. Had no idea how to do it. So I read that I could stop eating, it might happen.
Oh,
So I'm keeping things very simple here, but fasting until everything was clean and everything was clear. So I thought I could do that. I mean, I could stop eating. I couldn't do the mental stuff, but I could stop eating. So let's say I tried that. And on my way to do it, I was introduced to some Baba people. Well, how it happened was I was hitchhiking. And I was going to go to where it was to Florida, where it was warm, and I could didn't need to live in a building. I could just sit in the woods and stop eating. But the first car that pulled up to take me south to Florida had a photo of Mayor Baba taped to the window, the side window. So Mayor Baba's photo just pulled up right in front of me. The first step I took, and his photo appears about 2 feet from my face. So I went with that car, was going to a Baba meeting, met some Baba people, and they directed me to Myrtle Beach, where I had an experience where I felt Baba was alive and real and was going to be there with me for forever. And that I just had to develop that relationship. And so that was the start. And I did do the fast, but I wasn't so desperate anymore because I had Baba with me. And then one day I got a call from Lynn Ott, the painter who painted all the murals in the Pilgrim Center. And he said, they want to build a building at Mehrabad. Do I want to design it? And I said, okay, I better go there and see what it was all about, but okay. So I went in September of '74. I arrived first at Mehrabad and to see about designing this building. And the Mandali, this was going to be like the first big building at new building at Mehrabad. And they were a bit hesitant because they didn't know me at all. I could be some wild modern architect and want to do something that was pretty impossible or super expensive or something like that. So they said, you stay at Mehrabad and we'll get you some pencils and paper and put you in a room and you design it and show it to us as you proceed with this thing, which I did. I stayed 6 weeks. I would bicycle in once a week with my drawings and show them to Mani, Erich, Bauji, Rano, who was there. And they were very happy because I fell in love with Padri's kitchen and dining hall that he built for the pilgrims, which is now the trustee's office at Mehrabad. Mm. And that was built by local Arangan masons and carpenters and so on. And I thought they were wonderful. So MPC was kind of like a bigger version of that. And I went back to the US. There's one nice story. I gave a set of drawings to Mara for her opinion. And she liked it, approved of it. And I went to say goodbye to her on the way as I was leaving, and she handed me the drawings back. And she noticed that she hadn't put a rubber band around the drawings. And she said, oh, I better do that. So she went back in the house, hunted all over the house for a rubber band. And I said, well, Mary, you know, listen, this is a print. I can make 100 of these. Don't worry about it. And she looked at me and she said, this isn't yours. This is Baba's. You have to take care of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's a good start.
Yeah.
And, so I went back. I didn't really expect to have to come back because I thought the drawings. I finished the drawings, did all the detailing, and sent it back with a model. But then I learned I really did have to supervise. So I came back to supervise, to live. In February '76, with the intention of just building the building and coming back, thinking that a building would only take a few months to build. Well, it took 4 years. It was, after that time, I didn't want to go home. So that's how I ended up here. Thank you, Baba. 47 years now. That's how I got here. I can go on with more stuff. You want to, Janet? Why don't you?
Yeah.
Go on.
She's been jumping ships all the time before she came down here.
No.
I did what?
Jumping ships? You jump ships from Australia to England and stuff like that?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, jump ship. Jump ship. Oh,
Ships.
jump
Jump ship, yeah.
ship.
Sorry. Go ahead, John.
Want me to keep going? Well, okay. So when I arrived at Mehrabad to stay, the pilgrims were using all the empty rooms, so I was put in the Rahuri cabin. And I would have tea with Padre every morning, and we'd go to the building site. He'd go with me to the building site to translate, but also to show the workers that he had my back, because they didn't know what to make of me. They didn't know whether I knew anything. And why would they listen to me? So he did that for me. And but at the same time, he trained me in a way, because he would ask me a lot of questions about how things should be done and point out problems that he had faced at Mehrabad. And almost every time I would suggest something, he'd say, no, won't work. This kept happening, and I was getting pretty frustrated because I thought they would work, a lot of them. And well, it came to the point where Padre and I are on the roof of the Samadhi. There's a flat section at the very top before the dome, and that used to leak every monsoon. In fact, Janet and I, we went up there and scraped all the tar off one time. Remember that?
No.
And there's a clear story window there. And he's saying, well, what are you going to do about these leaks? And I said, well, let's do this and that. And he said, nah, it won't work. And I really thought it would work. So I said to Padre, you think I'm a fool? He put his nose right up next to me and said, you think I'm a fool? So, saying is, I know what I'm doing by putting you in your place.
My God.
Yeah. So that was another lesson. All right. So, well, things went on. I mean, I hung around and did a lot of buildings. Went. Oh, let me see. Mansari was very treating me very lovingly and gently and carefully in those days. Particularly in the summer when it was hot, she would have tamarind juice for me every morning. And we'd sit together, she and I, in the samadhi, and I would take my guitar and play country songs and gospel songs that I knew. I didn't know any Baba songs, really. But she taught me the artis. She taught me and Ishte.
Mm.
And we'd sit there every morning after the prayers and together inside.
Paddy would call her my mother-in-law.
So she was very. Then by this time Janette had come, and you know I felt I wanted to marry Janette. She is wonderful, and so when I told Mansari and Padre I'd like to do this, they weren't happy. But Mara was happy. Mara, you said what she said to you, didn't she? Said it was a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah. And Pendu was thrilled. Bauji was thrilled.
Mm.
And Janet and I got married in a trust office. And Pendu was the father of the bride. And yeah. No, wait a minute. I did this right. Pendu was my best man.
Uh-huh.
And Bauji was the father of the bride.
Right. Yeah. Bauji gave me away.
Jai Bob.
Ray was there and stamped the paper and took his 100 rupees and
Wow.
yeah, we had a wonderful life. We still have a wonderful life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortunate. You're fortunate, both of you.
Oh, beyond imagination.
Yeah.
Beyond imagination. Yeah. True. Anybody, any questions? Anybody wants to ask anything? Say it now or hold your peace forever.
Do you all still live in Mehrabad?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Right. Yeah, we've gone to the West a few times, but not regularly. It's been 4 or 5 years since we've been anywhere else.
Mm.
I mean, in the early days, why don't you tell them about the early days when Padre and he had to get his permission to do everything, what you wore and what the.
Oh, yes. Paddy was very, very particular about, you know, he wasn't used to having young women. I was young then. He wasn't used to having young women at Mehrabad. In fact, he wasn't very pleased about having young women at Mehrabad. But we had to have our arms covered, and we had to have our legs covered, and we had to have something top that went basically down to our knees. He probably would have preferred it if they went down to our ankles, but he accepted going down to their knees. So, well, I'm just quite ready for things. I can't remember it.
Which one?
No, go on.
Yeah.
No, I can see. I don't need that. Thank you. Maybe talk for a little till I. Oh, yes, I know. Okay. I grew up in a country property in Australia, so I was used to. Australia is known as the venomous continent because just about everything there that can bite you will kill you. So I grew up with these deadly creatures. And so I wasn't scared of what I found in India because they weren't particularly venomous. But so I would catch these things and take them to Padre. And he said to me, "You're a very unusual woman. I've never met one like you," because he was used to, you know, people who came from Bombay or places like that who weren't used to these things that lived in the countryside. They'd be very afraid of them, but I wouldn't be afraid of them, and I'd catch them and take them to him. So I think because of that, in a way, he accepted me. He wasn't. The men Mandali were all a little suspicious of women. And, yeah.
They said Baba used the women to, you know,
To wear out the men
to wear
Mandali.
out the men.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yes, that's true. You know, Padre and Mera were first cousins,
hmm.
but I never saw Padre look at Mera. I mean, even if they were, they could be, you know, quite close to each other. When Mera came out to Mehrabad, Padre would turn away and walk in the opposite direction as fast as he could. He never looked at her. And I think that was from the early days when none of the men Mandali were allowed to look at Mera.
Hmm.
And he was obedience personified, Padre, in my opinion. He said, "I don't know about love, but I know about obedience."
Oh. Hmm. Janet, you did a lot of work at archives and stuff like that too, right? And you were quite close to Mera. I remember seeing you walk around with an umbrella and all.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
I was Mera's girl, and Heather was Mani's girl, and Shelley was Goher's girl, and who else? Casey. Casey was Mani's girl with
Hmm.
she'd take care of money at Merazad, and Heather would take care of her money at the trust office in Merazad. And, yeah. And Shelley was Goher's girl. And I was also Goher's girl. Whenever Goher went away, they would take me with them.
Loose seeds.
Hmm?
Loose seeds.
What about loose seeds? Stop ringing your bell.
Mara gave you the seeds to plant.
Oh, oh. Mera, when the Pilgrim Center opened, Mera came and sat on the veranda, and she looked across and she saw the graves, the men Mandali graves. And she said to me, you know, it doesn't look nice to sit on the front veranda. It would be nice for pilgrims to sit on the front veranda and look across and see the men's graves. Please, you plant, I'm telling you, you plant a loose hedge around it.
Hmm.
I told Padre, he said, well, all right, but remember, no punny. I mean, the thing that Padre wanted to, he didn't want the women Mandali interfering in Mehrabad. He wanted to keep them quite separate. I mean, the men Mandali had a very hard time with the women Mandali. I mean, he had reasons why he was like that.
Hmm.
And it was Baba. Baba used the women Mandali to wear them out. And so this loose hedge, he said, over my dead body. So Mera came out and she looked around and there was no loose hedge growing. She said, well, why haven't you done it? Now, I wasn't going to say I didn't do it because Padre told me I couldn't. I said, oh, I'm sorry, Mera, I just didn't do it. And she said, well, I'm telling you, you do it now. I said, what am I going to do? It's over Padre's dead body. I have to do it. Mera's told me to do it. Padre's told me to be over his dead body. What am I going to do? So I went up to the Samadhi and said to Baba, this is not fair. You're putting me in a meat in a sandwich between Mera and Padre. And they were first cousins, by the way. And that's not the right position for me. Please do something. And I went down to Kaka and I said, you know, that loose hedge, Padre. Oh, don't you worry about it. I'll do it. I'll do it right now. And he got a pick. He called a boy, and he gave him a pick, and he did a little thing around the men's graves, and then he went and sprinkled the seeds in there. And he said, now remember, no honey. Which was, so it rained, and it came up, and it didn't rain anymore, so it died. And then Mera came up and said, where's that loose edge? Oh, this went on for years, I don't know. Anyway, eventually the Pilgrim Center opened, and I got the wastewater from the bathrooms, and I got an old bicycle, and I got an old man, and I would put the pipe into the, what do you call those things?
The how to the
The
septic
hound,
tank.
the
yeah.
septic tank hound. And he poor old Gainu, he was very old, but he would sit up there and pedal away, and I got the loose hedge going
Oh,
at last. And Mary was happy when she came out and she saw it. And the day before Padre died, he came by and he looked at the loose hedge and he said, here, you've got a few holes in this. And he gave me some seeds. He said, you plant them. So that's it.
And he put the Baba the next day.
And he died
Yeah.
the next day. Yeah. Good.
Good one. Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. We have two hands up.
oh, okay. Go
Dilshad
ahead.
and Archana.
Go ahead. Dilshad, go ahead. Ask your question.
Jai Baba to both of you.
Hi, yeah.
Jai Baba.
Very interesting to listen to you, both of you. I have a couple of questions. Janette, would you please tell us about your story as to how you came into Baba fold? That is one. Number two, when you came as a Westerner and saw this, constant difference between the men mandli and the women mandli and them being kept separate, how did you perceive that? And to Ted, my question is, Ted, when you finally set house in Mehrabad, and how did you manage with the officials, the government, as in getting the paperwork and getting all the sanctions, especially from the establishment? And if any point in time where you found Baba's help at a crucial juncture to be able to settle down in Mera? Thank you.
Okay, that's three. You want to tell them how you came to Baba? That's the That was given you had to leave.
Oh no, but there was something before then. When I was very young, I mean, I was probably 4 or 5. I don't know. I don't remember now. But I just heard about Jesus from my mother. Father. No, my father he thought he was an agnostic, but he really wasn't. And when I heard about him, I told my mother, I'm going to go and live with him. And my mother said, well, you can't, darling, because he's not here anymore. I was totally devastated. And I remember we lived in a sheep property in Australia, and I remember running and running and going and sitting somewhere quiet by myself. And then I looked up and there was this beautiful man standing in front of me. And he said, now I still don't know whether it was either I will be with you this time or you will be with me this time.
Wow.
I grew up, I forgot about it, got involved in life. And then I moved to England. I was a wanderer. Anyway, I moved to England, and then I remembered I had some friends who were living in London time, so I looked them up, and they said, well, can't see you tonight because we have a Mayor Baba meeting. And I said, well, what is Mayor Baba? And they said, well, we want to see you. And then when I went to see them, I saw this photo of Baba, and it was the same one. And
Wow.
when I was little, it was the same person. So that's how I came to Baba.
Beautiful. Never knew this one, Janet. Never told us the secret of yours.
I don't talk about it.
Ah,
You're dragging it out of me.
that's the general idea, lady. Okay. Is there someone else who had a question?
Well, there were three there. One, and the second one was like, how was it? I guess what it was like being a woman staying in Mehrabad, and
Oh, yeah. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Dilshad,
Yeah,
you
the question about, sorry, the question is, how did you as a Westerner perceive this men Mandli and women Mandli being so strictly divided and kept separate? And what is your perception of it? Thank you.
It didn't seem odd to me at all. I mean, it didn't seem. I don't know. It didn't seem odd. I didn't really think about it.
Mm.
I knew. I mean, Mera. I knew what her role was. She was the beloved of the beloved, and she only had eyes for him. So no, I didn't even think about it. I still don't think about. I mean, I don't have an opinion. That was Baba's order. Full stop.
Ah. What else, Dilshad?
So there was something about the government regulations and so on in buildings. Well, I was amazed how little there was at the time. For example, I was asked to design the school for Mayor English School at Arangown.
No, sorry. Ted, the question was when you finally decided to move to India in terms of citizenship and getting the government to give you that permission to settle here and
Visa.
getting through, because India is notoriously known to have long procedures which may go on for years, or something or the other comes up. So did Baba in some sense made you feel that you were helped?
Well, as far as I was concerned, Australia was part of the Commonwealth. India had been part of the Commonwealth. I didn't need a visa. It was many years before I had to get a visa.
But you were actually ordered to leave India within 10 days on 3 different occasions.
It was.
Yes.
Oh, well, I didn't
We
leave.
never, this is a good point, because today we feel a little safer, but up for the first 30 years or more, we were on the fence of whether we get kicked out any time.
Really? Oh.
Just there's a new DSP. We go in and say, "What are you doing here? Why have you been here for so long?" And you never knew whether they were going to accept it or not. It was all pretty much how the guy in power, and he changed every 2 years or something, felt about it. I mean, even Rana, she was almost kicked out until the policeman came out to meet her. And then she kind of said, "Sonny, how long have you lived in India?" That kind of thing. But Baba kept us in a
on your toes, yeah?
precarious position.
Bauji had to go. Bauji, thank goodness, went to Delhi a number of times on my behalf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, went all over the place. Went to Delhi, went to Mantalai, went many times.
Yeah, he was wonderful, that's Bauji.
Yeah.
He did.
Ted, were you there when Baba dropped his body?
No, no. I didn't hear about Baba until I think 72.
One thing I have to say about this two, this couple, they speak fluent Marathi. Let me tell you that. They speak fluent Marathi.
Fluent. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can speak
Hey,
Muhammad's
John,
Marathi, which was mostly.
Uh,
I can't speak all this. No.
That's, yeah, neither one of us are proud of that effect, that we haven't learned the language properly. But,
mm.
We had so
Yeah.
many. I had so many other things to learn. First, I managed a health center, so I had to learn about all of that, and then I started other things. And
Janet, you did a wonderful job with the archives. I still remember you helping us out from the Bombay Center. I brought a few things, and you did a wonderful job of it. You know, you packed it so well and sent it back, and you know, all those things.
thank you. Now we've got Jessica, who is really wonderful too. I mean, she's very. I mean, everybody over there is. We feel so fortunate to, have the opportunity to handle Bobby's things.
Mm.
And no, we're very dedicated over there. I don't do so much now because, I don't have, I'm old and I don't see as well and I don't handle things as well. So I do other things. I'm working on historic buildings and things like that with Ted's help.
my observation of what you've been doing, you basically were given the responsibility by the women Mondley to look after this stuff and make sure it was taken care of for the future.
Yeah.
And you took it on as your.
Wow. Mm.
Yeah, I mean, she was the one really that got the building built, got it to happen.
Mm.
She's a person who gets things, inspires others to do things.
Oh, I don't know about that. I push
Well, you
them.
get them to do it.
Janet, somebody's asked about you. They want to know your time with Mehra. If you remember anything particular.
Mehra, first of all, I was very fortunate because I was part of the Commonwealth. And, I'd lived in England. I knew a lot of people that she'd known, people like Delia and so on, and Dorothy and, people that Mehra had met. And I spoke a different kind of English to Americans, which was easier for her to understand. And I grew up on a sheep property, and I grew up basically on a horse. And Mehra loved horses, and so I grew up with lots of animals, and so it was easier. It was easy for Mehra to be with me because we understood gardening, we understood animals, just to whatever extent, and so she was comfortable with me, and I was very fortunate for that.
Mm.
Mehra evoked love in you. I mean, you couldn't help but love her and want to protect her. I would have killed someone if they tried to harm Mehra and gone to jail. I would have. And I think many, many, many of us felt like that.
Wow. Mm.
So
Yeah.
I was lucky because the women Mandalay kind of took me in as a in a friendly way, and Yes.
Oh.
Hi, Janet.
Yasmin, come in. You
Yeah,
have
Jai Baba, Janet. We are having these sessions called Tea with Mera. Tea with Mera on
Tea.
the Avatar Meher Baba's Circle of Friends, Baba Zoom, every alternate Tuesday. And I was very keen to know that I'm sure you must have been invited many times for Tea with Mera. So what were your experiences in these sessions?
No, I didn't have tea with Mera. I had lunch with Mera.
Oh, wow, that's even better.
And I stayed there and looked after her when she
Mm.
I was holding her when she went to
Okay, can we have a song now, Ted, do you think?
You ready to take off again?
Yeah, why not? Janet, you can sing along as well.
Oh no, who would want me to?
Well, everyone's supposed to sing. It's a group song. Boy, I haven't played this in a long time.
Which one is it?
Wait, I mean, I haven't played the guitar or done anything in a long time because Archie's been almost a year and a half since we've had Archie.
Come here,
So you're all rusty now, are you?
Oh, put your head
Very
up.
rusty. My strings are very rusty. When trouble surrounds us, when evil comes, the body grows weak, the spirit grows numb. When these things beset us, He doesn't forget us. He sends down His love on wings of a dove, on the wings of a snow white dove. He sends His pure, sweet love, a sign from above, on wings of a dove. Is there a way where others can sing and I can hear them sing? It'd be kind of fun. When Noah had drifted on the flood many days, he searched for land in various ways. Troubles he had some, but he wasn't forgotten. He sent down His love, wings of a dove. Everybody sing on the wings
of a snow white dove.
He sends His pure, sweet love, a sign from above, wings of a dove. When Merwan was cycling past Baba John's tree, she called out to him, "Come over to me." With one special kiss, she gave him his bliss, a kiss from above, on the wings of a dove, on the wings of a snow white dove. He sends His pure, sweet love, a sign from above, on the wings of a dove. When God looked down on the world that day, He said they need love so badly that Meher Baba I shall become, so that their heart's desire will at long last be won. On the wings of snow white dove, He sends His pure, sweet love, a sign from above, on on the wings of a dove.
Jai Meher Baba. That was beautiful, Ed.
So are you.
It was beautiful.
Thank you, Ted.
Okay. Ed, would you like to tell us about the memorial tower and your?
I got a couple of little stories.
Great.
One involves you.
No, don't embarrass me.
No, I'm not going to embarrass you.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
See, this memorial tower was Baba's wish that a memorial tower would come up, and Erich was after Ted to do it, and that's how the things began. Yeah.
True. When I first arrived in '76, Erich told me that I was to build the memorial tower, and because it was the one project that Baba specifically ordered. He gave general instructions to build educational facilities and medical and pilgrim facilities and so on, but he said, build a tower on this site, and ordered it. And on that day, on the 23rd of December, 1944. So I didn't, I got all involved with all the other stuff, pilgrim centers and hundreds of toilets for Amar Tithi and stuff. But eventually I realized I had to do it. I was getting old. And so how the design came about, I knew it had to do this. I knew it had to rise and be because Baba said it had to be an inspiration to people. And but I couldn't get the shape. I just couldn't find the shape. And for years, I've sketches and models and so on. And then one day, Eric Nadale said, I think I know what you're talking about. And he pulled out a book, and it had this thing called Gabriel's horn, which is a geometric shape. The graph is the formula of x, y equals 1. Very basic formula. And it starts, mathematically, it starts at the bottom with a big circle that just expands to infinity and grows upward to a tiny thread that at infinity becomes nothing. And the circle encompasses everything at infinity. So it's a really good physical example of the creation coming into being. The Christian people who discovered this shape called it Gabriel's horn, and the angel Gabriel blew the creation into existence. It's also a perfect example of the Om point. And it was also, there was a reference in the Quran about the trumpet and wideness to narrowness and so on. So it's a very important symbol, and it turned out to be a beautiful shape and buildable shape. So I knew this is what I had to do. And I figured I could do it. There were ways to do it. But it turned out, more than any other thing I've ever done, that it was really had to be Mayor Baba managing the whole thing. I mean, I was just turned out to be a working observer, you could call it. Because these, the way it could be made, the parts it would require, all those things required very sophisticated and very technical things that I actually didn't realize were required. See, I thought we could just hand carve these pieces, but turns out that there was in India, the first one in Asia, I think, that actually had a computer that could actually carve the formula x, y equals 1 into the pieces and create this shape. I wanted prisms at the top because I knew when the sun would strike these glass prisms at the very top, it would cast a rainbow spectrum on the bottom, or on the names and on the symbols. So that involved Bayram Irani. Now I don't see his name here, but well, this is, for example, I got it Googled and wrote to every company and everything I could find that made glass stuff, and no one would touch it for any price. Mainly because it was such a small project. Only required 4. But one day I got on the internet and found this family in China that said, well, maybe we can do it, but we need a big order before we can do it. So a year went by and they finally said, no, we can't do it. So I just begged and pleaded and told them all about Meher Baba, and eventually they said, okay. So the problem was getting him to India once they were made, and I asked Bayram to help me. And I said, no, pack it perfect. I told the people in China to pack it really well and send it air freight, because we can't afford to have this thing damaged. So they did all that, but they sent it to Madras instead of Mumbai. So Bayram has got to figure out how to get it through customs in Madras, and then get it to Meher, and then get it to Ahmednagar, which he managed. I get a call from MIDC in Ahmednagar saying, there's a package for you at MIDC. So I took the trust Jeep and I went out there and drove around MIDC and finally found this lonely truck parked in the side of the road, and looked inside, and there's this busted up box, a wooden box with pieces of styrofoam lying along the bed of the truck. Oh my God. And so I didn't have the courage to open it then. I put it in the Jeep and I brought it back and parked the Jeep. And the next morning I went and took a look, and they were fine. They even sent an extra one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and then there's you, Sam. The tower is very narrow at the top. It's only 8 inches in diameter, and yet it's got to be able to withstand this wind force. So very special stainless steel, very thick-walled stainless steel pipes were required. And no one in the world was going to manufacture one of each of these pipes. It's a special alloy too. It wasn't just the regular stainless steel. So again, no plan B. What am I going to do? I Googled again and found some little company, little shop, not a company, in Mumbai. And the man answers the phone and said, sir, I will make this a matter of honor to find these pipes for you. Okay, wow, good. Well, about a year went by and I get a call. He's found them. I said, well, when can I see him? And it turns out his place was about a 5-minute walk from Sam's place. Wasn't that right? Sam, you there? Oh no. Are you
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Right. So I went and stayed with Sam, and we wandered over there, and sure enough, this guy was able to get those pipes. And I mean, it's a much longer story, but we kept an eye on him because he wanted some money before he'd even let me see them. But he was great. I mean, he produced. I mean, it's a mirror. I mean, this is not. It don't make no sense. Like, he didn't make any money. Nobody. Where in the world did he find these pipes? I have no idea. Because they're one of a kind. So, how to get them to Mehrabad? They're heavy. It takes a crane to put them in the truck, and then there's all the paperwork, the octroi and all that stuff. So, but one day I got a call from a truck driver, saying, "Where do you want these pipes?" I said, "Well, you know, we're at Mehrabad. You come down the Doan Road, you go out there, he said, just tell me which side of the road you want them on." I said,
Or the other side. Yeah.
"Yeah, right." So I said, "Well, the opposite to do." So, suddenly he's there with the pipes. And so I get the paperwork that goes with it, and I go running over to the trust office saying, "I'm going to have to pay this guy. This is a lot of money for transporting these over." And so I get, the paperwork. I didn't get the money at that point because we would probably have to write a check or something. And I come back, and he's gone. He's dropped the pipes off, and he's gone. And to this day, I have no idea. He never paid him a rupee. I have no idea who he was or what company it was or any of that stuff. And I asked Sam, and I asked the guy that supplied him, and none of them knew. So
It's all Baba's doing, yeah?
yeah.
Wow, what a story. What a story.
Yeah.
Just a few. There must be 100. I mean,
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to ask was, Ted, there's a talk about this prayer in the
oh, right, yeah.
Mayor Pilgrim Retreat
Yeah,
on the
Pravadigar prayer.
Yeah, the Parvatigar prayer. How did that come about?
Well, this is something I've learned, that when you make a mistake, take a good look at it before you call it a mistake, because it may be Baba showing you what to do without you really knowing. That was a exposed concrete beam along the front veranda, which was supposed to be an inverted beam and covered with bricks, because everywhere else the concrete was all covered with bricks. There weren't any of these just sort of ugly beams sticking out. And I was very disappointed that they'd done this. They'd done it in my absence. I don't know where you and I had been, but they poured it backwards. And so my philosophy now is when you make a mistake, take a good look. It might be an opportunity. You could maybe turn it into a feature. And sure enough, I just thought, okay, let's put the prayer up there. And this fellow Gandhi, he's a wonderful singer and artist from Hyderabad. I asked him if he could do it. And so he came and he painted that whole thing, and he came out just right. I mean, it's got 110 feet of lettering to do. And, to make that prayer come
Fit in, yeah.
to the right place was no small thing. And he just did a lovely job there, and that's how it happens.
But did he calculate and everything and do it, or just went on and?
He definitely planned it out, and
Wow.
computer to some extent, but there's, as you know, computers don't always behave the way they're supposed to.
True. Yeah.
And it worked out, yeah.
There's another thing I wanted to ask is, the St. Peter's in Rome,
Yeah,
they have those columns,
right.
and they say that they represent yeah, you're laughing, you know about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, the pillars and
The apostles and stuff like that. So is there something like that around Mehrabad, anything like that, you think?
Sam, I do not. Someday somebody's going to count the number of arches and the number of columns, and they're probably going to have some meaning to them.
Okay.
But when I do it, I don't think about that.
You haven't done it. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I was surprised to find that the NPR is a perfect vastu
Oh.
thing. The arms opening to the east.
Mm.
The way the bedroom wings are arranged and so on, and some other stuff that, according to Vastu, is the right way, and but I wasn't aware of it. Just felt good, felt right. Yeah.
Another thing we joked about when it was being constructed, the moat-like thing where the workers come in and go out from now.
Right.
And we said that there's going to be a swimming pool over there. Yeah.
Well, that was I didn't want that building to be an obstruction to community that was going to come up behind it. I mean, all that land back there will be a Baba community, a large Baba community probably, and they should be able to see and approach the Samadhi without having to walk around this big building. So, in fact, I made the bridge kind of out of just steel rather than big thick walls and stuff, so you could see past it. Because the superstructure will be visible someday. With that. Right now, the tomb's too small to be seen above the trees, but when the superstructure's there, it'll be quite a grand passageway. And going under made it safe for the public to move back and forth without, and still have the building secure. And that turned out to be a very nice rainwater collection.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to tell people about is this couple, they're very fond of dogs, and especially German Shepherds.
Yeah, we got a lion right here. Tommy, come here.
Yeah, and see, and once they had a dog named Sam. So whenever I visited their place, or whenever I was near the trust, in the lower Mehrabad, and Ted would say, "Sam, sit down," and I would jump, That was funny, I think.
Well, we love Sam and we love you.
Jai Baba. Tell us something more, Ted, whatever you feel like.
Sorry to interrupt. Ramnori uncle wants to say something.
Oh, Ramnori has a question. Go ahead, Ram.
No, I don't have a question. I have a request, to both Ted and Janet. Since they work very closely with Padre, I was wondering, if they could share a few stories.
Padre story? Story about Padre?
I think I thought of one.
You got one.
Yeah, I think it might.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I told you the one about on the roof of the Samadhi.
Hmm.
Um, I'll tell you quickly while she's looking. Next to the Pilgrim Center, there's when we build the flooring for the building, we fill it with murab and then put concrete and flooring on top of that. So a large amount of excavated material is required to fill the floor. So next door, Padre had built this bund to collect rainwater. And he called it the Ashwan Dam. So here was an opportunity to make it deeper.
Mm.
So we hired these guys from the village to dig it deeper and to use that material in the floor of the Pilgrim Center. So we got out there, we go almost every day. I go out there with Padre and we take a look. And these guys had started to dig his bund because it's nice and soft and easy to dig out. And Padre was very upset. And he called the boss over, and the boss is this gorilla of a man, big, powerful guy who made a living, breaking rocks and digging holes. And he said, "Did you do this?" And he said, "No, I didn't do that." And he said, "Telling me the truth?" No, I didn't do that.
Mm.
You're lying. So tell me the truth. No. Wham! He smacked him across the face. Padre.
Oh, wow.
And stop lying. And he said, I'm not lying. This guy could have broken both of us in half. And so Padre hit him again. You better stop lying. And the Padre looks like mad. His neck got all veins came out. His face was red. And just kept smacking the guy and tell him to quit lying.
Mm.
And finally, the guy said, I won't do it again.
Mm.
Padre goes,
My goodness.
okay. He turned around and walked a few steps, and he said, he called my attention to a little plant that this was flowering.
Mm.
Totally 180 was
Mm.
peace and love from a rage where I thought he was going to have a heart attack or something.
Mm.
So
I guess they picked up all this from Baba himself,
yeah, I mean, I don't know whether he was. I mean, I don't think it was an act, but I think it was he could. It didn't affect him deeply. I mean, in a way, it was probably an act.
Or maybe anger without malice or anything.
Yeah, I mean, he totally forgave the guy after hitting him about 4 or 5 times.
Mm.
Well, shouldn't tell those stories. Is that okay?
Yeah, of
All
course.
right. All right, you got one?
Do I have a story? I'm trying to find it.
Send it. Oh,
When I first came to stay at Mehrabad, Padre put me in the interview cabin. Do you remember which one that is? It's if you stand on the front veranda at Lower Mehrabad, you look across, you see this little cabin.
Mm.
And that's where Baba used to give interviews when events. So Padre put me there.
But, this is, I think, important. The fact that you told, Padre said, where do you want to stay? And you said, wherever you put it.
Yeah.
Right? Now, that's a big deal. I mean, he didn't expect that from you.
He didn't. Oh, well,
No.
I didn't.
Ah.
I meant it.
Most people have conditions, right?
Mm,
Well, I'd like to stay in a place that has this and that, you know? Right.
But anyway, that had a sopa sandas attached to it,
Oh,
and with a just a pit that was dug, and all these enormous centipedes used to come out of it. They were several feet long, and 3/4 of an inch wide, and they had olive green bodies and big red legs all the way down, and big pincers in the front. And I caught one and took it over to Padre, and he was horrified. He said, "That's a terrible creature. Kill it, kill it." So I did. And he looked at me. He said, "You are a very odd woman. I've never met one like you." That was a big compliment coming from him.
Which year was that?
Which year was that? Oh, 76?
76, must have been. Yeah.
Oh.
Welcome, Mama, when you coming back.
Ted?
Oh, yeah. Now, Erico was in charge of taking care of Muhammad. He would go into... Oh, sorry.
Please don't cross talk. Let the lady speak.
Oh, no, don't. Is it time to stop?
No. Go ahead. Sorry.
Erico was in charge of Muhammad Must, of caring for Muhammad Must. But Muhammad would go into these states where he would just lie on one side for just weeks at a time without moving. And, he had to be turned and all these kind of things. He was off in, some other state. Anyway, Padre told, and he got bed sores on his hips. And Padre told me that I was to dress them. And at that point, he was getting up. He was able to get up and sit in his chair on the back veranda of the main bungalow. Anyway, so I was supposed to dress his bed sores. So I'd pull his cuffney up, he'd pull his cuffney down. I'd pull his cuffney up, dress his bed sores, he'd pull it down. And it was very hard to do it. And every time I pulled it up, he'd pull it down. And then one day he got fed up. And he leant over and he picked me up and he threw me off the veranda.
My God.
And I landed in the dirt. And Padre just happened to be sitting, sitting in his kitchen or looking out from his kitchen door. And he said, "Oh, what happened to you?" He threw me off the veranda. Oh, he gave Muhammad hell. He said, "Now you apologize to her."
Oh.
Padre telling Muhammad, "Oh, maafi Janette, maafi Janette, maafi."
Wow.
He knew when you were coming back.
Yeah, and he'd sing songs. "Danabai is coming tomorrow. Danabai is coming tomorrow." This is if we'd be gone to Australia or someone, and no one ever told him when we were coming back. Half the time we didn't know either. And he used to sing songs about Heather too. Hazarabai is this, Hazarabai. That's Heather. He called me Hazarabai and he called me Janette.
He called me Nya.
Oh, yeah?
He was chasing
I was
Nat.
mad.
Nat chasing.
He used to call me Madrasi Chamar. A bloody Madrasi cobbler, I don't know why, what reason, but he used to call me that. Ted, there is a question from Siddharth Varma. He says, "Ted, can you share some more info about the superstructure, please?"
Well, first thing, the trust has decided it's for the future. It's not something that's going to happen soon. there's really no need for it now, and there's no money for it now, and things like that. So it'll happen sometime.
Okay.
God knows when. So people have given design. In fact, they've encouraged people to offer ideas. And there's a file with drawings and model and photos of models and so on that are kept on file for the future designers to refer to.
Mm. Okay. Anybody else wants to know anything? Come on, folks. This is supposed to be a lively interaction thing, you know?
Been going on for 2 hours.
We're getting worn out.
No,
Really?
hour and a half, sorry.
So I have a question.
Oh,
Ted
great.
and Jan. So when are you guys going to come visit me
Oh,
in Pune?
When is it safe?
we're under lockdown here. We can't go anywhere.
Oh,
No, we are. Seriously, aren't we?
Well, I don't think legally we're not allowed, but you know, we're not doing it because we're trying to be as safe as we can, being old guys.
yeah.
I think the lockdown may be over now somewhere. I don't know what it's like in Bombay, but it could happen any minute. We'll go back into lockdown. But we're just trying to avoid any risks.
Yeah.
But we don't have
Me
people
too.
visiting us.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people here. I've been here for a year and a half now, and I've seen them twice.
We never. People don't come here, and people don't go anywhere. They stay in their own houses now.
Ted, there is someone, some Meher, who says that does Ted or Janet remember Muhammad's link with that tree that died after he passed away? I don't know anything about this. It's probably something to do with Muhammad, the prophet, not this Muhammad the Mosque. I don't know.
I don't know either, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I
Sorry,
know.
Meher.
I can't remember. I don't remember that, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'll ask around and see if anybody remembers.
Okay. Asima, any questions?
Nothing.
Come on, yeah.
Maybe some more stories from Padri time if they have the energy to talk. But those were the days I remember I was a kid and all these people had just come and they had
You're here. Look at you. You're sitting on the hill?
well, virtual.
Oh, okay.
The background. Yeah.
Jai Baba.
You must be sitting right on top of the tomb.
Yes. For a while, she fooled me too. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. We could have done that. Oh, golly, Padri.
Padri stories.
May I ask a question, Sam Uncle?
Please go ahead.
I just wanted to know out of interest, how did you both get adjusted to the Indian food and the Indian weather?
I loved it from the very beginning. In fact, rice and dal and chapatis probably still one of my favorite meals.
Well, I'm Australian, but I lived in London for a long time, and there's so many Indian restaurants in London. And I'd often go to eat. Do you remember the Standard Indian Restaurant in London? Yeah, I used to eat there quite a lot. But I didn't have much of a chance because Padri put me on boiled vegetable water.
Oh.
And I got so thin that Go told me I was going to have to leave if I got anything else. So she went out and she came out and talked to Padre and persuaded him to drop the diet. What happened? And you know, Go would hold Padre's hand and gently just sort of pat him on the face, and she was irresistible. No one could say no to Go when she was being persuasive.
But she could be tough too.
Oh, she could be.
Remember,
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
Oh, the one she used to beat. She whacked him and shouted at him.
Yeah, there was a
Whack, whack, whack! Get out, get out! Laszlo, when he came to Merazad, he thought he was Baba, and he came with his consort, she thought she was Mera, and he turned up at Merazad. You know this story?
No.
He turned up at Merazad, dressed as Baba, with the pajama pants and then the long white thing and then the pink coat. And she was dressed as Mera in a sari, da-da-da-da. And Go ahead. Someone said, call Go ahead. I saw them pull up and I said, and someone said, go quickly, get Go ahead. And Go ahead came across. And Laszlo was a big man. And she sort of climbed up his chest and whacked him and whacked him.
Wow.
Whacked him. Get out, shouting and screaming and hitting him.
See, what he was trying to do was to get to Mera. He thought that if Mera saw him,
she would recognize
him as Mayor Baba. So he was desperate to get to Mera, and he kept trying to get in. Twice he.
Yeah. She was very ferocious. Yeah. I mean, she was so soft and gentle, and she had this ferocious side, which most people when she let loose.
Oh,
what?
Remember when we went to Dr. Chakravarti's?
Oh yes. When she took his hand?
No, when she kept sending you up into the operating theater to ask.
Oh. Who was being operated on?
I don't know. Anyway.
Go ahead. She would take. I would go to Pune with her when she'd go to Shelley, and I would go, and she would keep sending me up to the operating theater, and I would say, "Well, I can't get in," but no, I did go in. I kept going in, and eventually they locked me out, told me to go away and not come back. I couldn't get in. I couldn't get in after that. I was just.
It's like the story when Baba told Erich to go into a bank and tell everyone to leave.
Something like that. Yeah. Siddharth wants to know, Janet, can you share the story of the time when you had to be a part of a play for Mera, and while all of you had to do was hold aloft a light, you were shaking so hard you almost fell over?
I remember.
I was doing what
this was Brenner Mal, the dance, the ballet director, taking all the Mehrabad women and doing this light dance. And he was trying to get you all to perform.
He said it was like trying to herd cats. I don't remember that very well.
Okay, that's okay.
Yes, I kept doing the wrong. I kept running on stage at the wrong thing. And Mary said, Mary getting the giggles, and she said afterwards the best part of the was me coming on stage and looking terrified and run off again. Those were the days.
Yeah.
I think it's time to stop. No?
Okay.
Again, if you want to, but can we stop now? We're old people now.
Okay.
He's over 80, and I'm not far away.
Okay. If you say so, Janet.
Lovely talking to you.
We'll be very reluctant to let you go so fast and so easy, but We'll have to, yeah. Ted, can you do the Ustad Dhanyavad, please? Yeah. Everybody just
I'll move.
enjoy this. In gratitude to Meher Baba for gifting us these two wonderful people to share this evening with us.
Oh, we've had such fun.
This is,
Thank
It was
you.
fun.
this is in gratitude to our Lord Meher Baba. Ustad Dhanyavad.
I remember this. Ustad Dhanyavad. Ustad Dhanyavad.
Ustad Dhanyavad.
Ustad Dhanyavad. Ustad Dhanyavad. Ustad Dhanyavad.
Ustad Dhanyavad.
Oh, Meher. Dhanyavad.
Meher.
Dhanyavad Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Oh, Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Rama Dhanyavad. Rama Dhanyavad. Rama Dhanyavad.
Dhanyavad.
Krishna Dhanyavad.
Krishna.
Dhanyavad. Krishna Dhanyavad.
Dhanyavad.
Oh, Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Oh, Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Dhanyavad. 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 Jesus. Dhanyavad. Jesus. Dhanyavad. Jesus. Dhanyavad.
Dhanyavad.
Oh, Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Oh, Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Muhammad Dhanyavad. Muhammad Dhanyavad. Muhammad Dhanyavad. Muhammad Dhanyavad. Allah Dhanyavad. Allah Dhanyavad. Allah Dhanyavad.
Dhanyavad.
Oh, Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Oh, Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Baba Dhanyavad. 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 Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Oh, Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Dhanyavad Meher. Dhanyavad
Meher.
Meher.
Our Meher Baba ki jai. Okay, folks.
Thank you.
You,
See you in Mehrabad.
Janet and Ted.
Thank you, Ted and Janet. Thank you.
The one thing I would like to say is an open invitation to both of you. Whenever you feel like sharing your stories on any Thursday, just let us know and we put you on. Because I'm sure you must be having so much of treasure, you know, to share. So whenever you feel like,
Remember too.
yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Jai Meher Baba Ted and Jai Meher Baba Janet. It's Meher Chandnori from Hyderabad.
Jai Baba.
From Hyderabad.
Meher Chand from
What?
Hyderabad.
Oh, right, of course. Right.
Meher Chand Nori.
There you are, Merchan. He's
Yeah.
got white hair. That's everything's
Merchan.
white.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't have that mustache before, did you?
It
I
was
had
black.
mustache.
It was black.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, we're white too.
Yeah, I know.
You've got more than he has.
So
Good to see you, buddy.
nice to see you.
Yeah.
Jai
Yes.
Meher Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, Ted and
Jai Baba,
Janette.
everyone.
Jai
Jai
Baba.
Baba.
Jai Meher Baba.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jai Baba. Thank you.
Thank
Jai Baba, Jai Baba. Thank you very much, Ted and Janet.
Like, do that?
Yeah, good.